Away to pick up its first road conference win of the season. Now they're 3-0 in ASUN play, going for their fourth straight tonight. Knights have been flowing exceptionally well offensively since entering ASUN play. And a lot of it has had to do with this guy right here, Dylan Penn, averaging 32 a game over his last two. Late shot clock for Penn. Takes a rare three, and it's an air ball. Here's the starting five for North Alabama. 8-9 this season, off to a bit of a slow start in the ASUN, despite making a run to the tournament championship game last year. They get CJ Brim back, their point guard, missed last game due to family issues. They shoot a lot of threes, and they're very young.
They really live and die off the three. As we see one go down there, and we talked before the game, if they're shooting the ball well at the three-point line, they usually win the games. Now, if Bellarmine can get out, they can defend that, bring that percentage down. Bellarmine's got a really good shot of keeping this game at a distance.
Bellarmine didn't defend the three terribly well last year, upper 30s as far as percent. This year in ASUN play, allowing just 31%. So the defense has been much improved. Here's CJ Fleming for the tie. Bellarmine's top shooter by career, top 5 in program history. Jamari Blackman drives and kicks for a Daniel Ortiz three. Couple of trips, couple of threes for North Alabama. Knights scored 77 on the road against Lipscomb after trailing by 3 at halftime.
I think Bellarmine's done a good job this year of going inside and out, creating good shots for their scorers, like this right here, CJ Fleming. Into Dylan Penn, worry about Dylan Penn, that brings the defense to him and opens up shots for other folks on the team, just like that.
Tony Buchol not happy with his defense, leaving Bellarmine's best shooter open in his 4th season. Really likes the state of his team. 9 of their 13 scholarship players are underclassmen. But CJ Fleming's lighting them up early. And here comes Dylan Penn. Alec Freem. They've hit all 3 of them.
Coming out hot, Knights are finding good shots early, knocking them down. We talked to their coach early on before the game, and he talked about how their defense really goes on, pushes their offense. He's okay with guys missing a shot, taking a bad shot, as long as the effort's there on defense. Right now, their effort's there. They're just missing that second shot to Bellarmine, and they're hitting the shots now.
That's a deep three and a foul. On the triple, CJ Brim went down. Forrest, classic case of invading that invisible cylinder, not giving the shooter a chance to land.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad foul. Anytime you foul a shooter and your hands are high, you really want to just close out, get there early, stay on the ground, get a hand in his face. Just a little overcommitted right there.
The senior from Tupelo, Mississippi. Again, missed the last game due to family issues, but Tony Pujols said CJ Brim is straight energy. Brings a spark and explosiveness to this team that they don't have when they're missing the senior point guard. Makes it a 3-point game. Double figures in 4 of his last 5. All threes to start. Betts, 6'3", posting up over the top of Blackman.
Just a tough kid. He does all the things that he needs to do to make his team better. He can really score. He puts himself in the right place, and you see there he's very crafty with a guy on his back.
Rare that he gets a post-up opportunity, but Blackman guarding him at just 6'1", Betts is 6'3".
Bellarmine's not scared to post up a guard. One of the best post-up guards in the country is Dylan Penn.
Strong take by Damian Forrest, but he missed it point blank. Here comes the ball movement for the Knights. Penn, baseline, it's good.
And we see there, he puts a guard on his shoulder. He likes it over top of that shoulder. He's a very good back-to-the-basket offensive player, and we saw that right there.
First points for the leading scorer for Bellarmine at 17 a game. And that rebound pulled down by Hof. Knights looking comfortable early. And a kick ball brings us to our first break.
Division I for years. One thing that he said when I came in, he said, listen, if you want to go Division I, you treat your players like they're at that level. And he did that. He's never stopped doing that. And here we are today competing at that level and doing it and winning.
This program quite literally is family on a certain level. His son, Doug Davenport, the assistant coach, as Dylan Penn draws the foul.
Yeah, there's a tight-knit family at Bellarmine that you know, I see around college basketball, and you see it in certain programs like in Zaga and certain other ones, and Bellarmine definitely has that where you're lifetime friends with your players and coaches.
You're still friends with Doug Davenport, playing together?
Absolutely. Me and Doug rode. We were roommates on the road, and we're still stay in touch. I stay in touch with all the guys. So it's one of the most impactful things I've ever done in my life is play at Bellarmine, and man, I'm just super excited where this program is today.
Here's Ethan Claycomb, and a deep three.
The program came as far as that three-point was. Wow, I mean, that was 4 feet behind the line, if not further.
From the south side. 7 for his last 13 entering the game, and he starts out with that dagger. And the Knights force a turnover on the other end. Whoa. NBA range is thrown out a lot as a term. That's legitimate.
Man, that was 7 feet behind the line. As a confidence, you know, that just shows you how deep this team can go. It's not just C.J. Fleming or Dylan Penn. I mean, Ethan Claycomb is one of the best shooters and offensive players in this league.
Really made a difference. He's had a tough start to the season, dealt with multiple illnesses, finally working his way back into the rotation, coming off the bench. Here he is on the drive, and an excellent feed to the freshman Hof.
Great look.
With that length, he can shoot it, he can survey the defense, make a lot of plays.
And he's great on the defensive side. He can go in and get a block. He can go in and get a rebound. He knows the importance of both sides of the basketball.
C.J. Fleming almost picked up that steal, and the bench loves it for Bellarmine.
And I watch replays of the bench, and Bellarmine, it really is part of their game and their identity. There's not a time down the court that the bench is not involved in the play, yelling out what they see from the scouting report. Maybe it's a play North Alabama's playing, but they know and they're involved in each and every possession.
Step on the baseline, Will Susi, and another turnover for North Alabama. But back to your point about the culture and the energy they bring on the bench, that's before the game. I mean, you get here hour and a half early, they're barking around while other teams in their layup lines are totally silent.
Yeah, and I think that's just what Coach demands out of this team. And it starts with Coach, it goes to the assistants, the guys that he hires, and it's also the community that's around Bellarmine. I can look around the stadium in Freedom Hall tonight and really see some faces that are familiar, and they expect a certain type of a level of energy, and Bellarmine and the players, they want to deserve it. And another absolutely long three by Ethan Claycomb. Bellarmine's on fire so far tonight.
What a start for Claycomb in the offense. 7 for 8 from the floor and 4 for 5 from downtown. All over North Alabama to start. Dallas Howell, the stretch 4, missed it. North Alabama's in a bit of a danger zone here already.
We've seen this. This is a pattern. Bellarmine always starts out hot with these teams. EKU, Lipscomb, you know, they come out, they play really, really well. Bellarmine's getting better at extending that run. When the other team goes on a run, they hit them in the mouth. Bellarmine's taking those punches now that they weren't taking early on in the season, and that's why you're seeing these W's and the wins, and how excited the Bellarmine community is about this team, because they're putting long, full game spurts together.
Oh, a big-time jam from Chapman. Isaac Chapman, rise and rock. That came out of nowhere. North Alabama looked dead offensively. Maybe that wakes him up. Claycomb doesn't quite get his third three, and North Alabama's on the run. Can they capitalize on this momentum? Brim is fouled by Betts. Bellarmine still.
He's right. He shoots the ball just about the same amount for both hands when he's playing at his best, and that's very rare for a player.
Quick three from Jamari Blackman, and after the dunk leading into break, it's a small 5-0 spurt for North Alabama. But you mentioned both hands for Dylan Penn. In that 38-point game, which was the 13th highest scoring game out of all of Division I this year, Dylan made 10 shots with his left hand and 8 shots with his right hand. He really can do it with both.
And that stat is unbelievable. You know, you don't really ever hear that. There's players like Ray Allen that you could hear back in the day, the stories where he would pull up opposite hand and bank a three in, but to really even the score out left and right, it shows you the weapon that Dylan Penn really is offensively.
There he is. Knights up by 10 early in the first half. Fleming hops up for two and missed it. North Alabama starting to gain a little bit of momentum here. Again, started with that monster dunk from Chapman. And Blackman's fouled by Penn, his second foul early on. DP's going to check out. Justin Betts comes in for him. Kurt Hof also in for Sam Duvall. That's tough for Scott Davenport. It's a tighter rotation right now for Bellarmine. They've got a main six. Outside of that, playing time's been sparse for the other guys.
You know, offensively, they look for Dylan Penn, but this team can really, they're pretty deep in that top six. I think Bellarmine's best when they have 6 or 7 guys they can put in the rotation that can go off on 20 points a night. Alec Freeman's another guy that can step up. So Dylan Penn going down early, you're going to see other guys really step up. Even Claycomb's, he's due for a big game.
He has been helping since his return, especially from the three-point line. Already has a couple tonight. Missed the hook shot there. All right, North Alabama once down 15 on a 7-0 run. Blackman caught in traffic. Dallas Howell a threat from outside. Hands off to D'Italian Brown. He says clear out. Here's Blackman right into Claycomb and an easy call.
Bellarmine's not shy to take a charge. You know, probably take more charges than anyone in the A-Sun. Betts, Claycombs, those guys they're willing to put their body in line for a turnover, and you see that there with Claycomb.
He was out of control too.
Absolutely.
That's part of it.
Yeah, you get position. You got to know certain type of guys. Is he a driver? Is he a pull-up guy? So it's not. You know, it's more than positioning. It's knowing the scout report.
His three there. Golden opportunity for North Alabama to cut it to 5. And the Knights take over offensively once again, where they're shooting 67% to start the game. Alec Freem, he's had a couple of big games so far in the A-Sun. Late shot clock here for the Knights. Fleming, 4-2.
resembled the shot against AKU at the end of the game at the corner there. He's a big-time, big shot guy, C.J. Fleming. His mentality is as strong as any player in the country.
He'll go do whatever you ask him. That's what makes up the three-time captain, as Damian Forrest, with a basket just a few moments ago, will now head to the line to try and cut it back to single digits. Scott Davenport's been barking at all the officials to start this one. He's gonna fight for his guys.
He's been known to do that a time or two.
Yeah. So Damian Forrest, sophomore from Fort Collins, Colorado, misses the first. Their top rebounder, really young 5. North Alabama lost its top rebounder, Manny Littles, transferring to Nicholls State. Very good program in the Southland Conference, by the way. But Forrest asked to take on a bigger role this year. And Tony Pujol is really excited about him. He brings strength and a certain girth and weight that they just haven't had before.
Yeah, and if you look at Bellarmine's teams that they bring into ASUN, the other teams that come in, Bellarmine really looks a little less athletic. They're a little bit smaller. You know, North Alabama looks absolutely massive compared to Bellarmine, and Bellarmine just does a really good job of pushing you out of your comfort zone, especially with younger players. So I suspect that North Alabama would just get better and better handling teams like Bellarmine.
7 on the timer for Garrett Tipton. Out to Betts. Somebody's got to do it. It's C.J. Fleming. Almost spun it home. Betts got the offensive rebound, and Tipton stuck it home.
And Betts fighting to be in the right spot, coming back, getting a second chance shot for the Knights. He's been huge for them in situations like that.
Another 3 for North Alabama off the mark, and Kurt Hope's been active on the glass. Betts reverse lay-in.
And he came from fighting for the rebound, full sprint, full court to back cut, and it's just hustle. Betts is one of the biggest hustle players that you'll see, and he scores a lot off of it, especially in back cut situations like that.
Taking on such a big role this year for Bellarmine as Blackman hits it over the top of Betts. Jamari Blackman can score it. Mr. Basketball finalist out of Hoover High School, over 1,000 career points. First recruit. That one stuffed by Isaac Chapman, first recruit for Tony Pujol. Here's Forrest in the post against the freshman Hof. Fleming taps it away. Fleming. Oh, he got a piece. Brown got a piece. Just got a finger on it before it hit the backboard.
Great block. Good hustle down. Turnover.
By committee. They're deep. They play 11 guys, 10 minutes or more per game, and they've looked pretty darn good with that system so far this year. Just trying to get those young players comfortable and hit their stride at the right time. That's what they did last year. They made a run to the ASUN Tournament Championship, eventually losing to Liberty by 4. Zach Jennings into the game, turns it over. UNA's been as close as 8 since falling behind by 15. But Bellarmine in control here in the first half. Isaac Chapman with a big dunk this game. Goes to the right hand.
And I don't think North Alabama's out of their game. I think they're playing their game. I think Bellarmine came out hot, and that's the difference in the game so far. But I think North Alabama's starting to feel comfortable offensively.
They score 74 a game. They can be pretty explosive. Had 88 in an overtime heartbreaker against UCA over the weekend. Here's a steal. Aggressive defense from Daniel Ortiz. Sidestepping to the bucket, but tipped in the swat. Garrett Tipton with some athleticism.
He was about a foot over the rim.
He's sneaky athletic.
He's hoppy. He could chase that down, and he's got some springs in his legs. We watch him in warm-ups. He can dunk the ball with ease. But that block was explosive.
Drives and kicks for Betts here, but he missed it. And a reach in on Hof, trying to get it around Chapman. We'll give a chance for Claycomb and Fleming to come back in. So the offense has slowed down here for Bellarmine. They started 7 of 8. Since that point, just 4 for their last 11. North Alabama settling in on defense.
I think the pace of the game is slowed down a lot. Even North Alabama has settled in offensively. Defensively, they've caught up to some back screens, pushing Bellarmine out to get into a different set. So the pace is very slow right now.
Susi is called for the charge. Betts took it this time. But part of getting used or into the flow of a game is the fact that you can't really prepare for a style like Bellarmine's. It's so unique.
Yeah, we see teams struggle. We talked about that earlier. Bellarmine does very, very well early on in a game. They usually find themselves up early on at the first half, and that's because teams have a hard time adjusting. Now, those teams that can come back and adjust that first half have really given Bellarmine a problem, and it's been down to the wire. We watched the EKU game, the Lipscomb game, and really just coming in, adjusting offensively, but also defensively has been the teams that have been successful against Bellarmine.
UNA got blown out by the Knights last time they played in Florence, February 2021. Knights got off to a great start, but the Lions not backing down. Susi called for the foul. A couple of zeros going at it there. Bellarmine 2 fouls away from the bonus here near the end of the first half. The Knights playing for their 4th consecutive win to start out ASUN play and stay atop the ASUN West Division. Lob for DeVault, set play, beautiful thing. Now here's Ortiz, the answer from 3.
Great step back. We know that he can shoot it. He can get it up quick. He doesn't need a screen to get his shot open, and they really need to look for him to kind of take over this game.
His first basket. Leading score at 11 per game. Betts stepping through, rejected by Blackman. And here comes Susi. Over the top of Claycomb. That did not work. DeVault, quick trigger 3. Rough shot. Offensive rebound for Betts, though. Claycomb's having trouble with the pass, and Bellarmine sets up with 10.
The pressure really getting to the Knights right now. I feel like North Alabama has really pushed the guards off the three-point line, and Bellarmine has struggled here offensively.
Fleming at the buzzer, no. And Betts.
I've seen it in a long time. He's confident, and he packs a big punch for a little guy.
He's been packing their big punch tonight as Freem is fouled on the close-range shot. He'll have 2. Leading scorer for Bellarmine so far with 8 points. It's been a balanced effort along with Fleming to this point for Bellarmine. 8 of the 9 guys have scored.
Yeah, Bellarmine always leans on that balanced scoring. They've got a guy they see is getting hot. Then, as a smart team, they look to ways to find him to get open, especially with Dylan Penn, C.J. Fleming, Ethan Claycomb. But they look to have that. They've always looked at have that balance approach, just like North Alabama has. But they want to have 4 to 5 guys and 10 to 12 points a game. That's their style of basketball.
The one guy you could argue consistently leading that pack and centering things around him is Dylan Penn. He just hasn't been on the court a whole lot here in the first half because he has 2 fouls.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just for their team, the seniors, the veterans, and that's a second 3-point that they've gotten fouled on. Coach Davenport can't be happy about that. But, you know, veteran guys, those are the guys that you can lean on. They become important when people like Dylan Penn, they come down with foul trouble, and they can really rely on, you know, anyone that's in their top 6.
So Ortiz was fouled on the 3 by Tipton. Misses the first, but since Penn's gone to the bench, Bellarmine got out to that great start, up by 15, 21-6. It's really been all North Alabama since then. Oh, Ortiz can't believe it. 83% foul shooter. This is the top free throw shooting team in the A-Sun. 4 straight missed free throws between the teams. 7-point game. Bellarmine scoreless the last 2 minutes. Who do they go to here? It's been Fleming so far in the first half.
Well, Alec Freem has, you know, yet to touch the ball in the post. I think that they really need to get some stuff going inside and out. They're getting pushed out on the 3-point line by the tough, sticky defense by North Alabama. But back cuts, stuff like that gets you going to the rim, gets open shots like that with Alec Freem. They just got to knock it down, and they'll continue to search the offense at what brings the defense together to get open shots. And it just takes a while when Dylan Penn is out to get comfortable.
That was a better look for Bellarmine. No foul call despite the hard contact there. They whip it around to Forrest. Excellent ball movement for North Alabama, but Blackman missed the 3.
And a great possession by North Alabama. They're happy with that possession. I think that they're really, really starting to settle and feel comfortable playing against this Bellarmine defense.
So they just issued a flop warning to Bellarmine. Did you see who it was on, Forrest? My vantage point was blocked there for a moment.
I did not. You know, and look, the flop is part of Ethan Claycombs. He's just the guy stepping up tonight. We talked about who's going to step up. He's stepping up. C.J. Fleming's stepping up. But the flop rule, you know, you're really looking to insert yourself. But when you are in that moment of taking a charge, you have already committed to that, and so the flop is something that's in there to make sure that people are safe, but it's going to happen in the game.
2 flop warnings, a team technical. 5 on the shot clock here for Ortiz. Tough step back 3, and a foul going the other way. Who's in the middle of it? Justin Betts, and Betts will take the flagrant free throws. Tony Pujol does not agree. 1 for 2 for Betts. So Bellarmine seems like they've been up 11 almost the entire half, trying to expand this lead with 1:10 to go.
They haven't quite got over that hump of just really pulling this distance out with North Alabama. But North Alabama, like I said, if you take that first initial spurt out of them getting used to Bellarmine, the way Freedom Hall and the way the Bellarmine plays, they're really 2 points in this game, and they've done a good job of holding Bellarmine to that deficit.
Just haven't been able to get anything going on offense. 22 points to this point in the first half. Here's Fleming. Gets to his spot, misses the tough jumper, and Ortiz has it. Tony Pujol wants his team to take his time, take their time. Chapman doubled in the post. Ortiz pulls up for a deep 2. Howell can't battle for it. Knights have 15 seconds.
And if I'm North Alabama, I live with that. I thought that was a good possession. They're starting to play really confident and like a different team than the beginning of the game.
4 seconds for Penn. Floater goes.
to the system. They're here for a reason. They have a Division I scholarship for a reason. But we'll definitely see other players come in involved at a different caliber the next 3 or 4 years.
Exciting times ahead for Bellarmine for sure. Trying to lock up this win against North Alabama, start 4-0 in conference play this season. Just their second year in Division I. Isaac Chapman rolls it home to start off the half for UNA.
And he's a heck of an athlete. He's been so bouncy this game. He's been looking to explode. He's battling underneath. I look for them to go to him to set some screens and roll. They really need to get some stuff going to the basket.
Knight shot it well in the first half. When they're leading at halftime, they're very dangerous. 7-1 this year. Nearly turn it over on this possession. With 5, they go to Alec Freem. Great shot fake to draw 2. Bellarmine led by 15 in the first half. UNA cut it to 8. Bellarmine expanded that lead before halftime. Just such a smart team, Forrest.
And that's, they recruit those kids. They recruit players that think first, and then they go out and they work extremely, extremely hard. The caliber of player has to be mentally strong to play for the Knights and Coach Davenport, and he does a great job of going out and finding those kids that can fit in this culture.
Freem was really quiet in the first half. Had 16 points last game. Monster game the other day against Eastern Kentucky with 23 points. That was a career high for him. So he's had his moments, but it's been all balanced today for Bellarmine, led by Ethan Claycomb with 9 so far.
He's the true silent assassin. He really doesn't need to score. He is so content coming in, playing his type of basketball defensively, offensively, and not having to score, but can.
Excellent late shot clock possession defensively for Bellarmine, but UNA picks up the offensive glass. Dylan Penn had 2 quick fouls in the first half, limited him from doing things like that. Penn can get going in a hurry. Last 2 games, example of that. 38 and 25 respectively. 3 missed, offensive rebound for Jamari Blackman. Tony Pujol wants his team to take its time. Hof the steal. Hof in transition for 2. That's pretty good play from a freshman.
And a big guy. I mean, he handled it well. He's up. He's playing above the arch. He's a great addition for a true freshman.
Running shots denied by Penn.
And Dylan Penn making an impact right now after sitting out most of the first half.
Good night. All over that shot from Susi. They're whipping it around the perimeter. Who wants to shoot it? Susi does, and he drains it. He gets the last laugh after he was blocked. So back to 11. Knights can't quite pull away enough from North Alabama. Oh, Daniel Ortiz just lost bets, but he recovers. And UNA gets the stop. Blackman nearly traveled. Ortiz could have made it an 8-point game. Hove tried to show off the handles. It was poked away. No look inside. That was poked away, but a foul as well. They get Freem for the slap. When it gets gritty like this, feels like that favors North Alabama.
I've never seen this before, but a guy just had in his shorts a list of their plays. Like a football quarterback. I've never seen that in basketball before.
Really?
In his waistband.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in baseball.
Football
as well.
Never seen it in basketball. First time in my basketball career I've ever seen that.
Blackman stop and pop. Down to 9. See something new every day. Penn, no. We got a foul on somebody. They get Isaac Chapman for the foul as Hope was going for the rebound.
And, you know, early on, working for a block out would have been an over the back. I think they got Hope, and Bellarmine's going to work hard on every possession, so you got to get a body on somebody to get that call.
Penn's trying to get it to Hope, he can't. Penn might do it himself. Yes, he does. Man, Dylan Penn again. Give him that much space from 15 and in. Good luck.
I mean, he's untouchable. When you give him that much space and that much creativity, he might as well do it himself. You know, and that's what this name of this game has been for Bellarmine when Dylan Penn is them.
Head coach Tony Pujols said little things like that behind the scenes. The outside world didn't really understand what they had to go through last year. One day to prep for Liberty, but that made them tougher for a tournament run and really served them well.
Yeah, we talk about sports and preparation. You don't see what goes on. Some of these teams still travel with a bus, and they've got to go into class. They've got to take finals. This fifth-year rule that these guys can now play, they're in the NBA program. They've got to take tests on Saturdays and Sundays. This is a different ball game now for these student athletes, and you're right. You don't really see what goes behind the scenes each and every day for the players and coaches.
Used last year as kind of a guide for this year with all they've had to deal with. Bellarmine comes out of the break ferociously, getting a bucket and a stop. Dylan Penn, a rare air ball. He was on fire before that point. Only has 8 points tonight. I say only 8 because he's averaged 32 over his last 2. Hasn't needed to score a ton. Balanced effort for the night so far. Daniel Ortiz cut off by Betts. Forrest in traffic. Sends it in. Again, UNA making enough plays to hang around. How do they get over the hump, Forrest?
I think they've got to really pressure defensively. They've got to get some stops. They're doing what they need to do. They've got to get that help side out when they have a double like that right there. They need to have their big guy come out. Everyone motion over defensively, but they're doing a good job of putting some pressure on the point guards to get them out of the set. And they've got to do that. They've got to score on the other end when they get stops, though.
They haven't been able to do that a whole lot tonight. They get Dylan Penn for the foul. And Forrest, that's his 3rd with under 14 to go. And out he comes.
And Dylan's made his impact. I think Dylan's done a good job of exerting himself when he's been in the ball game. You're going to get in these foul troubles as an aggressive player. It's how your other players and other teammates, they respond.
Turnover for UNA again. They only have 10 turnovers, but it seems like the TOs for Tony Pujols' crew have come at very inopportune times.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many Bellarmine stops that you get. If you're North Alabama, if you can't come down and cut that lead offensively, it doesn't matter. And it kind of gets with your confidence a little bit as a player.
Bellarmine's taken 7 more shots than North Alabama so far. Part of that due to the turnovers. That's something that Bellarmine keeps a close eye on because they're such a good shooting team.
Yeah, and in offensive rebounds, Betts has been absolutely a force on the offensive rebounding board. And if he doesn't get a rebound, he deflects it to another player to get a rebound.
Or he drives it and gets fouled.
Exactly.
Justin does everything. He'll do whatever it takes to win. The ultimate team player. Glue guy's thrown around a lot. If there is one, it's him. wasn't much of a factor off the bench last year. Did play significant minutes, but he's barely come off the floor over the last several games.
Yeah, talking about a kid that's taken a year, let him build his confidence. That's what you want out of these players that come in and they buy into the system like Betts, and he's fallen confident and with his teammates, what he's doing against the other teams that are new to him. He's good at letting the game come to him, just like Bellarmine all together. We talk about Dylan Penn. He doesn't have to score, but he can. They're very good at letting the game come to them.
Look at that. Third in the A-Sun in rebounding, and he's 6'3".
It's all effort, it's heart, and it's will. You can't coach those things.
Been such an important piece for Bellarmine this year. Now up by 15 after hitting a couple of free throws.
Look how intense he is defensively. He's just so focused.
To Talion Brown, right to Betts.
Good pass.
Freem can't finish.
And they've missed some bunnies underneath that would have really put this game out of reach.
They've been close to putting it out of reach a few times. But North Alabama's hit shots like that. Didn't fall there for Dallas Howell to keep it relatively close. Claycomb's not afraid to fire from out there. Hit one from about 30 feet earlier this game. Fleming coming off a curl, slipped, it doesn't matter. Largest lead for Bellarmine at 17. Big possession right here for UNA. Got us do something offensively. Brown charges through.
But they're starting to lose that confidence that they came into the second half with. Dylan Penn starting to hit some shots, but Bellarmine's starting to go underneath. They're playing really strong, and I think that they've responded really well.
There's another defensive stop. 39% from the floor for UNA. Penn spinning, no, rebound to Blackman. But this has been part of a simplified defensive approach for Bellarmine recently. Another charge. Guess who? That just seems like a smart play, right?
I think that I think he put himself in the right position.
That's a senior.
That is, and listen, that's doing the things or anything to put your team in a position to win.
Not afraid to drain some clock here either. 4 for Betts. Gives it off to Penn. Leading scorer somehow hits it at the buzzer.
And you've seen a little change in North Alabama's body language and their tone. They're not pushing Bellarmine's guards off the three-point line, where Bellarmine in the first half struggled so much. They're really just passing around, just running their sets and kind of getting what they want at this point.
Yeah, Bellarmine runs what they want to run. That's bad news. Three-point play for Will Susi. Coming off 23 points, career high against Central Arkansas. Had a perfect game, went 8 for 8 from the floor, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Earned more playing time. Got some guys have been out. Susi took his chance, and in a big part of the rotation, only cashes in for 2. One of 5 freshmen on the roster. Young team again for North Alabama. 9 of the 13 scholarship players are underclassmen. Still trying to figure it out. Betts almost traveled, gets tied up as Blackman grabbed his thigh.
When all else fails, just grab a leg.
Is that KFC's motto?
I heard a guy behind me said that's a 10-yard penalty.
Dallas Cowboys heard that a lot the other day. Claycomb, no way! Oh, he almost hit it.
Very Josh Carrier-like. Josh Carrier could shoot it in any scrimmage, UK scrimmage, at the half-court line and go down.
That's a tough move right there for Chapman. Reset here for North Alabama. Ends in a Brown three. Nope. Betts stops, gives to Tipton. Blocking foul. Easy call. When you slide over after the offensive player leaves his feet, that's almost always a block, right?
Yeah, and I think that, you know, they didn't know that he was coming. One, I think that hit DeVault's, or Tipton's, sorry, his hustle down the court. If you watch the replay, he came from half court. Betts got stopped at the free throw line and just continued his hustle and caught North Alabama out of position.
So it's Garrett Tipton. Played just a few minutes on the road against Lipscomb on Saturday. Got a lot more action tonight, 13 minutes now. Scott Davenport mentioned after the Lipscomb game, yeah, we only really played 6 guys. Kind of had this tone of, I want to change that. They played a lot more guys off the bench with Tipton, DeVault, Claycomb, early minutes, a lot more often in the first half. And it's been balanced so far today for Bellarmine. Guys have gotten more rest.
And I think that's, you know, Coach knows he's adapting. You know, the game is a little bit different than it was 2 or 3 years ago with the virus and folks and having to sit out. And coaches, he's knowing the importance of going deep on the bench.
They've also had the luxury of going deep because they've been up double digits almost the entire game.
Right.
Unlike Lipscomb, where they were back and forth for a while. And here's Dylan Penn just doing what he does, going to work in the post.
Such a strong post player for a guard. You know, Bellarmine, some of their best teams had a 7-man rotation. 2011, they had a 7-man rotation. The year after that, after national championship, about a 6 to 7-man rotation. That's where they find, if they find 7 strong players that are in, they're healthy, that buy into the system, they feel like they're at their best. But it's also just having those guys buy in, like Tipton, that they need so very much right now with folks in foul trouble. You know, Baylor Yonkers is out with a foot injury. It's just everyone stepping up.
Here's a kick out for a 3, and it's hit. Haven't seen a ton of those from North Alabama tonight. Just 5 of them for the game. That one was hit by Alexa Matic from Serbia.
He's got an interesting hair barrette in. Here he is again.
Oh, thought about another. Out to Blackman instead. And a strong rebound for Hope. That foul brings us to break. To their 4th straight win to start league play. Justin Betts has been a nice part of the effort with 9 points, 7 rebounds. Very Justin Betts-ish line. And the 5th-year senior hits the first.
What's amazing about this is we see so much room for improvement for Bellarmine and things they can work on. They haven't played the best game. EKU, that was a solid effort. I think they definitely can work on this game, and here they're up 18 points.
Yeah, offensively, it's not the cleanest they've looked. Still pretty darn good. But defensively, that's where they've really made their mark tonight.
Absolutely.
One of their better defensive games of the year against a pretty decent North Alabama offense. CJ Brim out to Daniel Ortiz. Impact player tonight. Hits his 2nd 3. Still 7 minutes left if North Alabama can find a way to make a run. Offense has just been so hard to come by. 15 feels more like 20 or 30. Fleming cut to the block. Now in the post. Freem catch and release. And a foul on Hof. That's Kurt's third. Got one more to put North Alabama in the bonus. Make it 2. Bellarmine already in the bonus with 6:45 to go. Coming off a game when they had 88 against Central Arkansas, North Alabama hasn't been able to get in a groove all night. Susie driving and a foul. That's on Ethan Claycomb with the hold. Yeah, North Alabama had an excruciating loss to Central Arkansas on the road Saturday. Tony Pujols said, we got to leave that game in Conway. They were up 7 with 50 seconds remaining in regulation. UCA came back with some pressure, forced turnovers, and forced overtime. North Alabama led by 6 with 54 seconds in overtime. And UCA ended up winning by 1. There's Ortiz for his second 3. But how they lost, though, they were up 1 with a second left after Isaac Chapman hit a free throw. And UCA, Colin Cooper was fouled on a half-court shot with 0.2 seconds left. Hit a couple free throws to win. That's a really hard way to lose, Forrest.
That's tough. That plays a factor in how you prepare for this game. I don't care. You know, you could tell a young athlete to leave it behind them, but they dwell on it a little bit. And then they come in the Freedom Hall and to play a team like Bellarmine that it has so many different weapons offensively, and they throw so many different things defensively at you. That's a really tough turnaround for young athletes.
And you know Bellarmine's always going to be ready. If they sense that you're off just a little bit, they're going to have a field day.
Yeah, I mean, they're very strong mentally. They are very in tune with how each other team thinks and how they run their programs. It's a very smart IQ basketball program that you have to get used to, and it allows them to bounce back off their losses like that. You know, most teams have a hard time doing that.
Well, they haven't lost in a while, trying to win their 4th straight to start the A-Sun. Last loss was here to Loyola Marymount on December 21st. Had a couple of weeks off after that due to the holiday break and some COVID protocols. There's Dylan Penn spinning in the lane once again.
It's kind of like he goes to the right, to the left. He gets you closer and closer until he can get to a spot on that arch underneath the basket where he can do put up a floater over the shoulder. That's his most comfortable shot.
Ortiz is getting, but they continue to find ways to win the rebounding battle.
Yeah, I mean, he fills a void for them. He's almost 7 feet tall. He plays Bellarmine basketball. We saw that earlier. He can put the ball on the ground. He can shoot. You know, they are going to use him, and the older he gets, the better he's going to fit into this program.
Now watch out here. It's a 10-point game after the steal and score. 7-0 run. Bellarmine won for its last 8 from downtown. The 3-point shooting's gone a bit cold. Offense is slowed down. North Alabama creeping back in. Got to get stops, though.
Daniel Ortiz has gotten hot.
Yep.
He's got a violent step back that he can create a shot. And 4 threes here, he's really put him back into the game. He's a strong, true freshman.
Oh, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league for a while. Ortiz is. That's Will Susie arguing the call. Dylan Penn's going to the line again, and this may end up coming down to Bellarmine's free throw shooting.
Yeah, and I think Bellarmine's okay with that. They're a decent free throw shooting team.
Not so far tonight.
Yeah, tough tonight. Tough, wrong guys on the floor, but they need to get the ball in C.J. Fleming's hands. He's an outstanding free throw shooter here down the stretch. Let him take these free throws. He's been a great impact on this game. Dylan Penn, he's just going to keep going to the hole. And, you know, if I was North Alabama, he would be the one on the team that I would try to foul if I had to, if it was an open shot.
Knights are now 9 of 18, make it 10 of 18 at the line. Step back, 9-point game. That one hit by C.J. Brim. Look out here.
The two little guards here for North Alabama really turning it on.
EKU rallied from a similar deficit with a few minutes to go. Make it very close at the end. Bellarmine held him off. North Alabama on the charge now. Knights have led by as many as 17. Claycomb, tough shot. North Alabama clears it. They can make this a 2-possession game with a 3. Missed a golden opportunity there, but they reset. Clock approaching 3 minutes. Big possession for UNA. Brim might do it himself. No, off to Susi. Striding, missed it.
Wow.
Chapman.
Get that confidence, start playing their basketball again, and get some back cuts for some easy buckets, or they're really going to have a problem here with North Alabama.
Defensive pressure's ramped up for sure as Chapman hits the first out of the break. Chapman's been a spark at times. Plays a lot bigger than 6'6". Here comes some more pressure. Dylan Penn has a team-high 16 tonight, despite just 4 in the first half. Go to Penn here. Dylan probing, floating, no.
And if I'm Coach Davenport, I don't like that shot. What I would rather see is the ball go inside and out. That ball set around the three-point perimeter the entire possession and made the defense not move. Bellarmine needs to run some back cuts, get some things going to the hole, and make North Alabama defend.
Ortiz, 6-point to very much a game here. Can Bellarmine figure this out offensively? They've been stale. Got to get it over half court first. Let's see if they go inside out like you mentioned, Forrest. Fleming takes it all the way, but he missed it. Some contact, but no call. 5-on-4 for UNA. Brim is pushed on the baseline. North Alabama in the bonus can cut it to 4. Based on how it was going, Bellarmine was up 20 with 8.5 minutes left. Tony
Puhal has done a great job in this game from having his team down, keeping them confident, keeping them poised. He's gotten the ball in the right guy's hand, and Daniel Ortiz. He's done a great job of adjusting. He's thrown some press in, and he's seen what has made Bellarmine struggle, and he's really capitalized on it the second half.
Well, North Alabama's not going to miss its free throws. Here's a full court play.
Wow, great pass.
Penn catches it. The former track star tracks it down. What a toss from Claycomb, too.
Yeah, I mean, the pass itself right over the defender's head, it created the shot.
Ortiz, no. Betts is there again, and he's fouled. Feels like that play may have sparked Bellarmine here at the end.
Yeah, it's a big-time stop. The crowd's starting to get into it a little bit. That was a great offensive possession. Great play called, out of bounds. And defensively, Bellarmine will take that every time down.
Who else but Betts?
Absolutely.
Had a late offensive rebound against North Alabama the last time, or in game 1. of this series. Game 1 last year, they played twice, and that sealed a 2-point Bellarmine win. Comes up with arguably the biggest rebound of the night so far. 3-possession game. Betts nearing a double-double. He's got 11 and 9. Eight-point lead for the Knights. Feels like one stop may do it. Brim guarded by Penn. Brim floats. No. Chatham though. Wow. Isaac Chapman. Going to defend without fouling here. Try and get the steal. Now they foul. They may have fouled the right guy, at least according to percentages. 64% for Penn at the line.
Some big free throws for Dylan Penn. You know, as someone they rely on, he's got to step up here and knock them down and really rally his team to a W.
Again, 3-possession game. Meanwhile, with the last 2 free throws for Betts, he just tied his career high with 12 points. Three consecutive games with 20 or more for Dylan Penn. Must make here for North Alabama. Blackman lost it. Susi there. Susi, 6-point game again. Here comes the pressure, and Penn calls a timeout. Falling out of Alabama's made it interesting late. Bellarmine gets a couple more points here. That may just do it. Ball in the hands of their best free throw shooter. Penn gets it ahead to Betts. Dribbles out some more clock, and he's fouled. So Betts can set a new career high here at the line. More importantly, make it a 3-possession game once again. Scott Davenport giving late instructions here with 21 seconds left. Barring a couple of misses here from Justin Betts, Bellarmine in the double bonus. Just doesn't seem like enough time left for North Alabama. Betts has a new career high, 13 points, 9 rebounds, and some great plays that look like they'll propel Bellarmine to their 4th ASUN win. One more stop seals it for sure. Quick trigger 3, Brim missed it. Rebound Fleming. And North Alabama's not going to foul. Knights move to 4-0 in ASUN play. UNA didn't go down without a fight, but Scott Davenport's group, too much in the end for Tony Pujols' team.